Welcome to day 5 of 30 days of our practical AI journey. Yesterday, we were all about jazzing up that social media for better or for worse. Today, we're using that same awesome power to do something really impactful to our friends and coworkers, writing killer letters of recommendation, especially for LinkedIn. It'll apply to anything you want, but for today, I'm going to show you a little bit about LinkedIn's recommendations. Now, getting asked to write these letters of recommendation is awesome, also kind of daunting, right? You want to do a good job, you want to make them sound amazing, but where do you start? So today, I'm going to help you take all that pain away, and we're going to make a very simple process. I'll teach you everything you need to create these powerful LinkedIn recommendations, what to feed the AI, how to structure it, and get a result that you can be proud to put your name on. So you ready, everybody? Let's get future-proof. And a quick reminder, if you haven't watched the intro to this video series, please do. It lays out the foundations. Link is below. Let's start with what we always start with. How should a human think about what they need to do this task? Now, writing a letter of recommendation is generally a very personal thing, but if we structure it down, you need a few different things. First, you need to know information about the person you're writing this recommendation for. And the easiest way to do that, probably to give a resume, a CV, or some details of how you know them in a written format. You can also voice to text this. Super simple to do. But this is generally something that the other person will send you. I always say, give me your resume. Then you need to know what are they applying for, what the recommendation is all about. On LinkedIn, you're generally trying to help them find another job. Maybe they got impacted by a RIF or a layoff and you're trying to help them out, or they're hunting a new opportunity. This also applies to if they're applying for a master's program or some sort of selective application process. If so, you want the rules to come to you. The person you're writing this letter of recommendation for should give you that. If you're writing for a college or something, they'll give you the rules for the college. But for today, we're sticking to LinkedIn. So, as usual, I went to deep research, again, which we'll talk about on day 13, and I said, tell me the rules for what makes a really good LinkedIn recommendation. AI gave me what I wanted, and that's what we are going to use to feed in today. And lastly, and again, we're going to cover this tomorrow, my favorite class in the series, how to train it to talk like you. If you have a tone guidance or a voice guidance document, give that to AI, and that will really level this up. So let's talk about that. 2-1. We want to take that prompt with a few different documents. Today, the resume or the CV and the rules or the details of what the person's applying for should be provided by the person. So you just upload those as PDFs in whatever way you want. You also need your feelings about the person, what their strengths are, why you think they're awesome, and train it on your voice, and that will get you the response that you need. So now that we've thought through exactly what this needs to look like, let's talk about what goes into the letter of recommendation. Specifically, you want to provide details of your professional relationship with the person and the key strengths. If you just have these two things and you give it the guidance that we're going to have today, you're pretty golden on this process, all right? The framework is the same, RGCA, role, goal, context, output, and ask it for help. Our role today, to be a recommendation letter specialist with expertise in persuasive endorsements. All letters of recommendation are human-to-human social engineering campaigns. You're trying to get the other person to think the person you're writing about is as awesome as you think they are. I have a whole YouTube video on letters of recommendation. I'll link below as well if you want to dive deep into this. Our goal is to write that LOR that strengthens their application or strengthens their ability to get a job. The context, the documents that you're going to give, the resume and the CV, and the rules for how to write the letter of recommendation correctly, plus, again, what we just talked about, your relationship, your details, and the strengths that you know they have. Our output is an LOR in the proper format. For today, that's going to be LinkedIn, and we always ask the AI tool to help us if we forgot anything or if it has a better way that we can move forward. So let's jump down to our prompt. Now, be a professional recommendation letter specialist. As you can see, help me write a powerful LOR, analyze the guidelines that I give you, and then here's all the explanation of what I'm going to do for you here, all right? You can see the relationship, the purpose, the strengths. Again, all of these prompt details are available for free. Just click down below and you can have access to all the prompts from all 30 days of the series. The output format, again, give me an LOR, but include business letter formatting if it matters. This is, again, going to be for LinkedIn, so it's going to give us a LinkedIn format. Strong opening that grabs attention, structure the body with clear paragraphs, include a clear, unambiguous endorsement or follow-up at the end, and keep it to one page unless it very specifically asks you for more. Again, one page is even a little much for an LOR. And again, down here, I'm going to show you what we're doing today. I've asked AI to generate me a fake resume for Alex Rivera, a person that I worked with at Google for a number of years, who's a software developer and infrastructure engineer for Google Cloud. Sure, I just made this up. And specifically, I asked it to make up the information on Alex, and I'm going to give it Alex's resume. So again, AI created the resume that I'm going to feed back into AI. We're getting meta today. And if we take all this, I'm just going to copy this entire section here. Let's go ahead and do this thing, and let's walk through what it looks like. So I'm in a new temporary chat. I'm going to go ahead and paste in this prompt, like I said, but now I'm going to go and I'm going to add in the LinkedIn recommendation best practices, and Alex's resume. And all we're going to do is wait for those to upload. We're going to click go. And now this is going to write us a letter of recommendation for Alex. So let's take a look at this really quick. I had the pleasure of working with Alex for 3 years at Google, where I served as his direct supervisor. One of Alex's achievements was the implementation of zero trust architecture across 200 microservices, a detail it is pulling from his fake resume. And Alex is truly one of the top 5 security engineers I've worked in my career. His combination of technical mastery and leadership, wherever he goes, and I would enthusiastically work with him again without hesitation. This is pretty decently written in my voice as well, so I'll take this. This is great. Now, we can customize this as much as we want. I did not feed it my very specific details for a voice, so you can level yourself up in that way. And let's talk about those level ups. Definitely make your own LOR format. There is a signature to this. If you've ever written one before, just grab that, feed it into the AI tools, another PDF, and say, here's an example. Make it look and sound like this. Also, definitely train this on how to talk like you. In fact, you know what? I want to show that in real time right now. I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to add in a new document that is my instructions for how to talk like me. And I'm going to say, this is great, but please rewrite this in my voice using the instructions that I have uploaded. Okay, we're gonna say go. Now it's gonna rewrite this. I use way too many exclamation points. I have some very signature phrases. I always end with a very strong call to action and closing statement. Let's see what it does. Holy crap, y'all, I gotta tell you about Alex Rivera. Hands down, the most impressive cloud security engineer I've ever worked with in my time at Google. I was a supervisor. All right, this is looking good. If you're looking for someone who brings top tier talent leadership, I'm 100% confident he'll make a huge impact wherever he lands next. This is great. Much more in my voice, much more in my tone. So there you have it. Now, also highly recommend doing this as a custom GPT. When I showed you that first example back here, this is my own custom GPT, my letter of recommendation writer, and I'm on version 1.1. I haven't updated this too much. But as you can see, all I did is I gave in the details of Alex. Please write a letter of recommendation for Alex. I gave it his resume and I gave it the best practices and said, go. So this is a very small prompt from my perspective. It's just the basic details. And this would be exceptionally easy as a custom GPT for you to voice to text this to while driving in the car. Not super difficult to do. And again, if you want to dive deep into all this, because I have a major deep dive on this exact process in our community, details are below on how you can join. Now, that was a lot we got through in just a short amount of time. So a couple things. If you have any questions about today's training, you got any other ideas for letters of recommendation that we can demo, drop it in the comments below. I'll respond to every single one. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you get tomorrow's video. And tomorrow's huge. We're exploring how to capture your unique written voice with AI so that you have an AI assistant that sounds exactly like you. I got you. This next one is my favorite in the series. I'll see you for it tomorrow.